Igor Gorlanov lives in Novokuznetsk in Siberia. The 25-year-old has been repeatedly taken into psychiatric facilities after staging political protests. On one occasion, he filmed what happened at a police station.
Телефон уберите свой.
Нет.
Телефон свой уберите.
Игорь, уберите телефон.
По-хорошему лучше уберите.
Нет.
Вы не можете проводить съемку в отделе полиции центральной.
Нет закона, запрещающего съемку в отделе полиции центральной.
Уберите телефон.
Нет.
Психиатрическую бригаду вызвать, вы не
Да,
понимаете
попробуйте
слов.
только, ну давайте. Вызвали психиатров.
Gorlanov grew up in a children's home, and when he turned 18, he should have been provided with an apartment according to Russian law. When he wasn't, he began staging protests, on one occasion posting a video in which he ripped up the Russian constitution. In November 2019, city authorities handed over the keys to a new apartment. But a month later, he staged a one-man protest outside the presidential administration building in Moscow. He was demanding a meeting with President Vladimir Putin to discuss how funds for orphans' homes were going missing. After being detained by the police, he was taken to a psychiatric facility.
Сначала смотрели, насколько я помню, или не осмотрели, по-моему, со мной говорили. Дело в том, что я не все помню, потому что мне ввели препарат, который ударил по памяти сильно.
Supporters of opposition leader Alexei Navalny visited Gorlanov at the psychiatric hospital in Kemerovo and posted this video of it. They said he was being held illegally and being forced to take medication.
Но это было тяжко испытывать влияние лекарственных препаратов, которые тебя сковывают, не дают речевому аппарату свободную речь высказывать, грубо говоря, мыслить, потому что ты утомленный, ты скованный и не можешь соображать, не можешь сообразить, в какой я вообще сейчас позиции, и что сейчас происходит. Это здание Федеральной службы безопасности.
Released after several weeks of detention, Gorlanov protested against what he said was the abuse of psychiatry. In December 2021, he staged a one-man picket at the Novokuznetsk offices of Russia's Federal Security Service. That led to the scenes at the police station that we saw at the beginning of this report, and he was again taken to a psychiatric facility. His lawyer, Alexei Pryanishnikov, has had 7 clients who have been taken into psychiatric institutions. Another of his clients was a Ukrainian woman abducted from territory occupied by Russian forces and taken across the border to Belgorod. There she was allegedly forced to apply for a Russian passport before being transported to a psychiatric facility in Engels. After 10 months, Pryanishnikov helped to get her released and returned to Ukraine.
Было указано, что она не сообщала сведения о себе и говорила абсурдные вещи. Вот все на этом. И на основании этого эти сотрудники МВД отправили ее в психбольницу.
These are not isolated cases. In 2015, a report was issued by the Serbsky Institute, a Moscow psychiatric facility that used to provide Soviet courts with questionable diagnoses. It recorded an 11.5% increase in the use of expert psychiatric reports in Russian courts between 2004 and 2014. In 2017, the Global Institute on Psychiatry noted an increase in the use of punitive psychiatry.
Since the disintegration of the Soviet Union, there have been repeated reports of a renewed use of psychiatry for political purposes. Most of the more recent cases concern the Russian Federation, in particular in occupied Crimea, where psychiatry is used as a means of repression against Crimean Tatar activists.
More recently, media reports suggest that punitive psychiatry is also being used against people who have protested against Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. One example was 22-year-old student Alexei Karelina, who was sent to a psychiatric facility for a month after taking an anti-war stance.
Практика, скорее всего, психиатрии, я думаю, карательная. Вот именно обусловлена подлостью и недобросовестностью сотрудников, когда все друг друга защищают, когда, я имею в виду персонал больницы, вот, когда нарушают права вот, людей в ходе госпитализации.
Gorlanov was again sent to a psychiatric clinic from March the 22nd to May the 2nd this year, after criticising local police on social media.